welcome back to the Summerlin Pawcast. We are your hosts. I'm Jesse, and this is
Barrett.
And I'm going to start us off with the breakfast menu for next week. Monday, February 26th, pancakes. Tuesday, February 27th, omelet. And for lunch, Monday, February 26th, is Salisbury steak. There will be mashed potatoes, gravy, dinner roll, and, of course, the wonderful fruit and veggie bar. And Tuesday, February 27th, we will have potato soup, even though I think we just had that today.
We had tomato soup.
And we had tomato soup. Anyways, if it says soup in it, I'm getting the alternate every time. And we have muffins, fruit and veggie bar on top of our potato soup. And high school. There's a sign-up sheet in the office for those interested in taking driver's ed this summer. And if you haven't gotten on that, honestly, well, come on. You making the school look bad. And, yeah, we can't be having that, so please sign up as soon as possible. Mr. Davis is requesting a count of total students in his classroom, and the cost of the course is $325 per student. If you don't got that $325, you just get a job, bruh. You kind of broke, not gonna lie. The Village of Orchard is currently accepting applications for the following positions. There you go. If you can't pay for driver's ed, work in Orchard as a pool manager. Never mind, don't work there because Dylan wants it all to himself. Continue. Pool manager, assistant pool manager, lifeguards, part-time maintenance position. Depending on the individual, Dylan already has the pool manager in the bag. Never mind, he's a lifeguard, part-time maintenance position. Depending on the individual, this position may be year-round. And if you have questions, talk to Tyson Shutt about that. For those students who took driver's ed last summer, you have to get your driver's permit number to Mr. Gary Davis before you go to the DMV office to get a license. Barrett's going to take over.
For the sports this week and next week, on Monday, February 26th, there is boys district basketball, and there is start of spring practices. On Tuesday, the 27th, ESU 8 Junior High Quiz Bowl, and Summerlin plays at 6:30 at Kearney Catholic versus, what's the team's name? Oh my God.
Is it
Perkins County.
Perkins County, yeah. On
we got a
Tuesday
dog on
in the district final. Wednesday, the 28th, there's ESU 8 High School Quiz Bowl. Thursday, the 29th, there's Girls State Basketball. Friday, March 1st, there's also Girls State Basketball and no school because of spring break. Saturday, the 2nd, Girls State Basketball and speech at Creighton. And stay tuned for Chase's Elementary Podcast and Barrett's Sports segment. Hello, Summerlin. I'm Barrett with the Summerlin Bobcast Sports segment, and this week we got 3 shows lined up with just me making some picks and game time at the end. But we're going to get right into it with our first segment of the day, which is going to be Weekly Review. So this is Weekly Review, and of course last week I had on Kelton Brune, and we made some picks in just college basketball because the NBA season was on All-Star break, so wasn't any picks to be made there. But also, like, there's really nothing else going on in the sports world. Like, the Daytona 500 was this weekend, but, like, there's no, like, baseball hasn't started. Obviously, football ended, so it's really just basketball season. But we made the picks in college basketball, so we're going to go through those right now. We started off, and it was the Nebraska game. Nebraska beat Penn State 68-49. A pretty easy win for Nebraska, honestly. Then number 10, Iowa State beat Texas Tech 82-74. Number 9, Duke beat Florida State 76-67. Number 1, UConn handled number 4, Marquette pretty easily, 81-53. Number 6, Kansas beat number 25, Oklahoma 67-57. And finally, number 22, Kentucky ended up beating number 13, Auburn 70-59. So Kelton went 4-2, but I went 6-0. You can go back and watch the video. Got them all right. I think this is honestly, in like the 3 years I've done this, this is the first time I've ever had a perfect record, I believe. Like the first that I can remember. And really anybody, because I remember like the first couple years I did this, I had like the old like scoreboards that showed like everybody's picks and stuff and like their records. I don't believe anybody ever went undefeated. Maybe one person, but like I don't remember it ever happening. So I was actually pretty happy that I went undefeated. Got the Kentucky upset right. Other than that, it was a pretty normal week there. And Kelton went 4-2, and 4-2 is like a very good score. So for me going 6-0, I'm happy with that. But that's going to do it for Weekly Review. We're going to move into our second segment, which is going to be Watching You. So this is Watching You, and as you can see down there and up there, this one is about Damian Lillard, mainly in his All-Star Game performance. Now, obviously, the entire All-Star weekend for the NBA is kind of like a joke at this point. Nobody even really cares. Like, the three-point contest is cool. The Steph versus Sabrina thing was pretty cool. But, like, the dunk contest falls off so much every year, and it's just like it gets worse every single year. The All-Star Game, the final score is like 211 to 189 or something like that, which, first off, is absolutely crazy. But also, like, there's just no defense. It's literally just shooting threes and dunking. And so, I mean, you look at other All-Star games, and obviously, like, the NFL's isn't really that good, but the MLB does it pretty good. The NHL does it pretty good. But we're not trying to go on a complete hate the NBA All-Star Game weekend and everything like that, but I really do. But in other words, what Damian Lillard did over the All-Star weekend, in the All-Star Game, he played 28 minutes, which, I mean, you're not going to play a lot of minutes in an All-Star game. He had 39 points, which was leading everybody in the game. Shot 14 of 26 from the field, hit 11 threes on 23 attempts, which shooting 23 threes in a game is pretty crazy, even for the All-Star game. He hit 11 of them, including a half-court shot. And it wasn't like a half-court heave. It wasn't like a buzzer-beater half-courter. It was a step-up dribble, 1-2, plant right at half-court, set shot. He shot it, absolutely drained it. I mean, we've seen a lot of people hit half-court shots, right? But I don't think he pulled up from half-court like it was a normal three. Like, 2 steps, get into his actual form. It wasn't like a heave or anything, which is pretty incredible. Because think about a half-court shot and you're just shooting it from your set spot like it's a catch-and-shoot three, which is pretty crazy. He added 3 rebounds and 6 assists and a steal. So a pretty good performance from Damian Lillard. He ended up winning the All-Star Game MVP for that. I believe that one, is it called the Kobe Bryant MVP trophy? I think, something like that. I think they dedicated that to Kobe, which is pretty cool. But also, not only did he go crazy, hit 11 threes, hit a half-court shot, scored 39 in the All-Star Game, he also won the three-point contest with a score of 26, and he is the first back-to-back three-point champion since 2007 and 2008, so, almost 20 years ago. And I don't remember who did it then. I could have wrote that down, but I didn't. So Damian Lillard goes back-to-back in the three-point contest, which everybody's like, well, he won the three-point contest, but Steph and Sabrina went. Steph had 29, and Sabrina had 26. So, like, it's weird because, you could have threw him in and whatever, but Damian Lillard goes crazy in the All-Star Game. He gets the All-Star Game MVP, and he wins the three-point contest. That's a pretty good week of All-Star weekend for Damian Lillard. And now he gets to go back and play with Giannis and that team that's trying to figure things out because they're kind of falling apart ever since they hired Doc Rivers. They're like 2-7 or something like that. So maybe the Bucks get it figured out now. I'm not really sure. But congrats to Damian Lillard, his excellent weekend. He gets to go back to the regular season now and try to finish that thing out strong. So that's going to do it for this segment of Watching You. We're going to go into our final segment, which is going to be Game Time. So this is Game Time. It's just me here. We're going to make some picks in the NBA and college basketball. We're going to start it in the NBA. First time they're back from All-Star Weekend. This is Saturday's slate of games. First, we got the Bucks playing the Sixers. Just talked about Damian Lillard and how they're kind of on a slide with the Bucks. I'm going to take Joel and the Sixers to get that done at home. Next up, we got the Lakers playing the Suns. Man, that's LeBron versus KD again, which we're finally kind of getting to see this year without a bunch of injuries and stuff that have really been happening. They haven't really played each other a lot since, like, the Warriors-Cavs dynasties, but now they play each other again. They played a couple times this year. I'm going to take KD and the Suns mainly because of his supporting cast with D-Book. I think they go crazy and the Suns get a win. They're at home. The Mavs playing the Pacers. I mean, first off, really good weekend for Tyrese Halliburton. He played excellent, right? He played in the skills competition. He played in the three-point contest, and he was obviously an All-Star Game starter. But obviously, Luka Doncic was amazing as well. But, I'm going to take the Pacers at home. Another home team that I really like because Tyrese with Pascal Siakam now on that team, they're dangerous. Watch out. I think Indy gets it done and they get the win there against Luka. But don't ever count Luka out because Luka could go for 60-some points and they win that game. Next up, we got the Nuggets playing the Warriors. I'm obviously taking Golden State, which honestly, Golden State's been heating up recently. Hopefully they peak at the right time. They're finally back in the playoff hunt. Obviously, Jokic is his own menace, and the entire Nuggets organization is really good. Probably a championship front runner right now. But Golden State will get it done. They're at home. Steph has 47 points on the dot. Don't count it out. Kings playing the Clippers is our final NBA game. I'm taking the Clips. They're really, really hot right now. They look really good. Maybe the best team in the West, obviously competing with the Nuggets, but I think the Clippers get it done. That team is just really good right now, and I think they stay hot and they get that win. Now in college basketball, we're starting off with a really good game. Number 2, Houston playing number 11, Baylor. Baylor's at home, but I'm going to take Houston. I think Houston, obviously they've suffered 1 or 2 losses where it was kind of like, whoa, what's Houston doing? They're still ranked 2, and I still think they're really good, so give me Houston on the road to get that one done. Number 8, Duke versus Wake Forest. I will say, when I was watching the Miami game last night against Duke, they were talking about Wake Forest a little bit because it wasn't really a close game. So they were talking about Wake Forest and how they were really peaking and really playing well. I think Duke is really, really peaking and playing well right now. There's not a guy that's scoring. Obviously, Jerry McCain's playing really well, but like McCain had like 7 last night. There was like 5 guys that had like 12, 14, 16 points. So, I mean, and with like Proctor's been injured. He's coming off the bench now, and Caleb Foster's starting. Caleb Foster's playing really good. I think Duke, obviously I'm a Duke fan, but I don't really think it's biased because I think they really are peaking at the right time. I think Duke gets the win on the road against a pretty good Wake Forest team that maybe could be ranked. They get a win against a Duke of Virginia, North Carolina, something like that. Watch out for Wake Forest because they're going to be dangerous come the ACC tournament, and they're trying to get into that March Madness, and I think they'd be in right now, but obviously I'm taking Duke there. Number 13, Alabama playing number 17, Kentucky, who just lost last night to LSU, I believe. They got upset. I've talked a lot about how I really like Kentucky, but I really like Alabama, and I liked them last year, and I like them this year, so they're going to go into Kentucky and get a nice win. Kentucky coming off the loss. I think Bama gets it done. Number 10, North Carolina playing Virginia, 2 of the best ACC teams. That's a lie. I'll take that back. Virginia's really fallen off. They kind of got killed by like 40 against Virginia Tech, so yeah. I'm taking Carolina there as much as that hurts me, but like if I'm trying to get a perfect record here like I did last week, I'm taking Carolina. I think it's a pretty obvious pick. Carolina, they just lost a couple nights ago, but like they still okay. I hate saying this, but they're still a good team, and they're gonna get that done whether it's on the road or not. So give me Carolina there. Finally, we got Texas and number 9, Kansas. Kansas is another team that's been so up and down this year, which seems like a lot for most teams, right? You're either peaking now or you've already had your peak and now you're falling off. I feel like Kansas is one of those teams that's falling off, but they're not going to lose this game to Texas at home. So give me Kansas. They're still a dangerous team. Hunter Dickinson is still one of the best big men in the league. So I'm taking Kansas, and I think they win that one pretty easily in Allen Fieldhouse. So that's going to do it for game time in this segment. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week.
I'm Riley Meyer.
And I'm Sophia Cruz.
And we're the podcast. Not many birthday shout-outs this week. Happy birthday to preschooler Lauren Michelson,
6th grader Brinley Alstead, preschooler Collins Wagner. Happy birthday to you. Mrs. Meyer's keep the quote is that which is done with love is well done.
And now for some highlights on what's been going on in elementary. The following 5th and 6th graders made it on the honor roll. They will be traveling to Neely on April 27th with Mrs. Hideoff. 5th graders that made it: Elena Select, Journey Shaver, Jersey Gray, Sophia Cruz Verdon, Gabe Kester, Rayleigh Meyer, and Emery Berenger.
Lily Spangler, Bria Bergman, Callum Whiting, Addie Willoughby, Tree Kester, and Colton Stearns.
6th graders that made it: Austin Siepel, Matt Schrader, Bella Hobbs, Kendall Alamang, Lily Knowles, Taylor Bertsinger, Cooper Mueller. Good job. 4th graders are writing opinion essays about which president they think is better, George Washington or Abe Lincoln.
Ooh, that's a toughie. I would have to go with George Washington. He's on the quarter after all.
The 4th graders also created their own Nebraska settlement drawings. Those will be hanging in the hallway, so stop to check them out.
Let's take a look at the calendar. Monday, February 26th. 5th and 6th graders have Code Club after school until 4:30 p.m. The 5th and 6th grade girls have basketball practice from 4 o'clock until 5:30 p.m.
Thursday, February 29th. 5th and 6th grade girls have basketball practice at 4 o'clock to 5:30 p.m.
Friday, March 1st. There is no school due to spring break. Enjoy the long weekend. Maybe catch some girls basketball in Lincoln for the state tournament.
And now for some fun jokes. Today we have some funny jokes for you teachers.
How do you comfort a grammar teacher? Say, there, there, there.
Which school teachers have the greenest thumbs? The kindergarten teachers. Mrs. Basilman and Mrs. McClellan. Better plant a garden this spring.
What do you call a teacher who forgot to take attendance? Absent-minded. You know who you are.
And that's all for today. Remember, friends, to choose kindness,
Act responsibly,
treat others with respect.
and stay safe.
I'm Rainey Meyer,
And I'm Sophia Cruz.
and this is the podcast.